What's up guys, this is Chris. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we're going to talk about the hottest SPAC out there in the entire stock market, and that is CCIV. Now before we get into this video, I want to just give a shout out and thanks to all of you guys, my subscribers that have been following the channel, and we are almost at 3,000 subscribers. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now what I want to talk about in this video is both a little bit about the fundamentals and the technical aspects for whether or not you should be buying CCIV at this price level. Now, obviously the biggest draw with CCIV is that it's the main candidate to merge with Lucid Motors, and they are in advanced talks to finalize a deal there to bring Lucid Motors to the market. Now, the thing that you have to keep in mind with SPACs is that all SPACs generally start at around $10 per share, and that is the valuation that is assigned to whatever candidate they are merging with. They have a certain amount of cash to make a deal with a private company in exchange for equity and in order to bring it onto the stock market. Bear in mind now, CCIV as of today is over $50 per share. So already you're buying in effectively at 5 times whatever valuation they decide to put on the company, Lucid Motors, to bring onto the market. It's basically like buying an IPO 5 times the original price. Now, with IPOs nowadays and with SPACs nowadays, it is very commonplace that you're going to pay a premium to what these big institutional investors wind up paying on their part for a piece of that company. Even some of the most successful SPACs, right? They might do 2x, 3x out of the gate. 4x even a bit over time, right? You're seeing with DraftKings, you see it with MP, right? MP Materials is around $40 today, right? When it was a SPAC, it was $10. Is Lucid Motors worth 5 times that amount right out of the gate without even any information really about their financials, without any specific numbers on their pre-sales, their pre-orders for their vehicles? Now, some people really like those vehicles, so we'll talk about it. So on a fundamental basis, right, if we're thinking about a company and its ability to produce a lot of revenue and produce a lot of income in the future, then we need to understand some of their products. So if you look at Lucid Motors, they are targeting the luxury side of EVs. Now, they don't see themselves as a direct competitor to Tesla, according to the CEO. They purport that they have a much more advanced technology, and the range is expected to be over 500 miles, which is much higher than Tesla's premium brand, even 400 miles there. Right now, their capacity is only around 40,000 vehicles. By no means does that mean that they're going to sell that many vehicles per quarter or even per year. It's just a projection of their capacities. We have seen previously in different SPACs as well, there is still a lot that needs to be shown in terms of real results, and a lot of those EV SPACs have ended up going, back down from their peak. So if you are a believer in Lucid Motors, I think that you have to also balance that with just in the short term, this baby has run up so much, from 10 to 20 to 30, 40, 50, and the higher it goes, obviously the higher risk that you are paying up for. And I think a lower amount of return that's possible to get, can this go to 100? I doubt it really, without a significant pullback first. And if we take a look at some charts that I'm about to show you, I think the technical aspects will make that pretty clear. All right guys, so let's take an objective view to this. I am really not biased. I don't have any position in this stock, but I want to make it very clear that the higher this baby goes, the bigger the risk that you're going to take, right? I alluded to this earlier. And if you take a look at this chart, this stock has been on an absolute tear since the beginning of this year. From $10, we're seeing now it hit $55 or so today. And it's not like anything has been super new. It's just a continuous wave of rumor after rumor of, agreement getting a bit closer. It's getting a bit closer. It's getting, looks like it's going to happen. Oh, probably it's going to happen. And every time it just goes up anyway on nothing new really. Nothing with the fundamentals, of Lucid Motors, nothing, specifically really with CCIV itself. And if you look at the RSI now, I want to make it very clear here that now normally an RSI that is crazy high like this, right here, just to circle that here, the RSI is well over 70. And we know that an RSI over 70, this is a good indicator you can use to determine that a stock right now has been on a super high momentum wave, and these don't last forever. And the higher they go, generally, it is quite a big warning sign that there is going to be a pretty significant pullback in the future. I kind of talked about this in my previous video about a low RSI, but when you're looking at a high RSI, this can definitely be not a good sign, at least in the short term. Now, if we take a look right now, the RSI is around 84, 85, which, by traditional means on most other stocks, that is really, really high, and you can expect a pullback very shortly in the future. Nothing can go up straight forever, right? Especially when it's on rumors, and once the actual news comes out, at that point, it's not even a surprise anymore. I'd really, 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 really be surprised if it kept going up. And if we look at some familiar ticker symbols here related to EV SPACs and those that have had its hype and, fun in the sun, right? If you look at Helion, you're looking at a stock here that similarly was a SPAC trading around $10, and once the rumor news hit and the agreement news hit, this stock went from $10 all the way up, to $58. Okay, eerily similar, right? Pretty much in a straight line up there. And if you look at the RSIs, also really, really high, and those correlated to a strong peak in the stock price. And you had a one wave that went from $34 back down to $18, right? Down there. And you had from $58 here today, it's around $20, at the low is $15. So I don't think that any of these EVs are particularly a good idea to chase. And most likely you will have an opportunity to buy at a lower price. Pull up some other examples. Right? In the EV space, you have QuantumScape. This thing went up crazy from $18 to, I don't know, $130, pretty much in a straight line. And you had ridiculously high RSIs, 70, 80, 90 RSI. And, this type of momentum does not last forever. And you see such a violent drop, right? Same thing that we saw at Helion, same thing we see at QuantumScape. And just the last example here, any one of the other EVs like Ride, this one has since done pretty well to bounce back, but that first initial wave, right, I want to point that out once again, that huge wave up, very high RSI, very high momentum, eventually, I don't care what kind of stock this is, it's probably going to give some of that back, maybe even all of that back, right? And it's just a matter of risk reward. Are you getting a good entry point if you are a trader, a stock trader? If you're if you're really a long-term investor, fine, knock yourself out. I still wouldn't buy a whole lot of shares here at a peak, in what appears to be a peak in the stock price and momentum in a lot of those names before they go down. If you're long term, still, I think you can be selective about your entry. You can still be selective about what stocks you want to get into. And, as you could see here, probably not the only chance you're going to buy a stock at the peak of, hype and interest, and just before news might come out and some people want to sell on the news. You could be left in a pretty uncomfortable situation, I would say, if you're going to go all in here after what has already been several hundred percentage points of gains over the past couple of weeks. So in my personal opinion, I don't think CCIV is a buy here. In fact, if you're in it, I would consider selling some or all of your position. But that's just me personally, guys. I am not a financial advisor. You do what you want. You do what you want to do. You know, you do you, but that's how I would do me. That sounds weird, but yes, you get the point. All right, guys, those are my thoughts on CCIV, otherwise known as the SPAC that is going to seemingly merge with Lucid Motors. Nothing definitive as of yet. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you are invested as well, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You know, constructive conversation is always good, and I'll be looking forward to seeing that. Until next time, my friends, stay well and invest responsibly.